This is the leading news from the Albuquerque Journal. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Thursday, August 20th. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. New Mexico could soon go from a presidential flyover state to a major campaign battleground. The Democratic National Committee approved New Mexico as one of the 6 early states in the 2028 presidential primary calendar. If state lawmakers approve the change, New Mexico would hold its primary on February 15, 2028, following South Carolina, Nevada, and New Hampshire. DNC Chairman Kevin Martin said that could bring presidential candidates and nationwide media to New Mexico as early as next year, with candidates expected to hold events, open field offices, and build relationships with voters.
What it means for New Mexico is that there's going to be a lot of attention by presidential candidates, by the national press. It's going to be an opportunity for New Mexicans to tell the story of this great state. I think, but probably most importantly for New Mexicans is they're going to have an ability to, be up close and personal with the presidential candidates that not every state in the country is going to be able to experience that, right?
Martin also said that New Mexico's diverse population, rural and urban communities, oil industry, and status as a border state make it an important testing ground for presidential hopefuls. He says candidates will have to address issues including immigration, energy, and rural concerns. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, who pushed for New Mexico's early state status, says she's already hearing from potential candidates. For New Mexicans, the change could mean far more presidential campaign visits and a much bigger role in shaping the 2028 Democratic primary. A forensic technology program in New Mexico has linked 527 crimes across the state since launching in December, including fatal shootings. Attorney General Raul Torres says about half of the firearms analyzed by the state's Crime Gun Intelligence Center have been linked to crimes in different communities, confirming that crime guns are often moving across county and city lines.
We had an intuition, a sense that most or many of the crime guns that we were encountering in our communities weren't staying in one community. They were actually moving and being used in crimes in Albuquerque and Gallup and Farmington and Roswell and different places.
The center uses ballistic evidence and the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network machines in Farmington, Gallup, Roswell, and Las Cruces. Torres says the state needs at least 3 more machines to provide full coverage, particularly in areas like San Miguel County. So far, 41% of leads generated by the center have resulted in an arrest, and more than half of the firearms in those cases have been recovered. In one case, one gun was linked to 17 different crimes. Torres said eventually the technology could help investigators identify larger gun trafficking networks. In one case, shell casings from a traffic stop near Bloomfield were linked to an Albuquerque shooting, and later a deadly 4th of July shooting near Farmington. A suspect was then arrested and charged with first-degree murder and other offenses. A New Mexico doctor with deep roots in the state has been nominated to lead the Food and Drug Administration. President Donald Trump announced on Wednesday that Dr. Heidi Overton, a 2007 Gallup High School graduate and University of New Mexico School of Medicine graduate, is his pick for FDA commissioner. Overton grew up in Gallup and was part of UNM's BA-MD program, which guaranteed medical school admission to select New Mexico students. She graduated from medical school in 2015 and later completed resident training at Johns Hopkins. She now serves as Deputy Director of the White House Domestic Policy Council and helped advance several of Trump's health initiatives, including efforts to lower drug prices and change vaccine policy. If confirmed by the Senate, Overton would take over an FDA facing major challenges, including decisions involving vaccines, abortion pills, antidepressants, e-cigarettes, food safety, and ultra-processed food. Trump praised Overton as a, quote, rock star who will advance his health priorities. But her nomination is already drawing criticism from Democrats and some public health advocates, particularly over her positions on abortion medication and vaccines. Overton will now face questions from the Senate Health Committee before a full Senate considers her confirmation. A New Mexico clean energy group is asking the state Supreme Court to halt an upcoming air quality hearing for Project Jupiter in Doña Ana County. New Energy Economy filed an emergency petition on Wednesday, arguing the September 14th hearing date gives opponents too little time to review technical evidence and prepare their case. Project Jupiter is a planned complex of 4 data centers that Oracle and OpenAI intend to use for artificial intelligence training. The project also includes a microgrid powered by methane fuel cells, which would produce carbon dioxide dioxide emissions greater than the combined annual emissions of Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Santa Fe based on those cities' inventories. The project's natural gas supply is also facing hurdles. A proposed 18-mile pipeline from Texas has been delayed after the state land office rejected permits for portions of its route, while a federal review remains contested. New Energy Economy argues those problems mean the air permit application is not ready for consideration. The group is also challenging decisions by the State Environment Department's hearing examiner, who moved up the hearing date and reversed several earlier rulings involving access to technical evidence. The group's executive director says opponents are being forced to testify before they can fully review the evidence, calling the process, quote, trial by ambush. The Supreme Court is being asked to temporarily halt the hearing while it considers the challenge. And the Frijoles fire burning in the Pecos wilderness northeast of Santa Fe has grown to about 13,000 acres, but firefighters have increased containment from 9% to 31%. Crews are building fire lines, moving earth with heavy equipment, and using aircraft to drop fire retardant. About 780 personnel are now assigned to the fire. But officials warn that the blaze could remain on the landscape for a long time. Fire behavior analyst Lee Hilgenson says the end of the historically dry monsoon season means weather conditions are likely to work against firefighters. Containment efforts are focused primarily on the western and northwestern edges of the fire, near several communities. The fire was sparked by lightning on August 4th and has burned through rugged wilderness with little recent fire history. New Mexico is experiencing an unusually high number of lightning-caused fires. Since July 1st, 117 of the state's 219 wildfires have been started by lightning, nearly twice the 5-year average. Officials say the steep terrain means much of the work must be done by hand. With more than 40 miles of fire perimeter, they say containing the Frijoles fire will take time. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast, there's a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 3 p.m., sunny and hot with a high near 97. As for this evening, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms exists mainly before 9 p.m., patchy smoke before 7 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 65. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.